So the Steven Crowder video just came out, and it's not looking good for Steven. Now, I've known for a long time that Steven was a narcissist and terrible to work with. Dave Landau just came out and talked about how controlling he was and the gaslighting that Crowder engaged in with him. We know from Not Gay Jared and Sven, the computer, prior employees, that he was highly abusive towards them while they were in his employment, but they were forced to sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, so they could not publicly discuss what went on. So for those in the know, we've known for a long time that Crowder was effed in the head, but we didn't know it was this bad. I mean, what a lot of commentators aren't realizing about this whole situation is, why are they fighting over who takes the car? Because Steven Crowder, despite having millions of dollars, only has one car. Why? So he can control where his wife is. He knows where his wife is at all times, and he cuts off her independence, her ability to move and go places of her own free will. This is beyond controlling. It's insane that she put up with him for as long as she did. And she's damn lucky that Ring video caught what was going on, because right after this whole incident, he went to his lawyer, hired a divorce lawyer, and tried to cut her off financially right away. And it's just creepy how he talked about the situation like, oh, I picked wrong, and in the state of Texas, she can just choose to leave without cause. Because he didn't know that this Ring video was going to come out. He didn't know that the way he treated his wife was going to become public. And now that this is out, we're going to be hearing a lot more stories about his behavior with this whole divorce going on. He chose to divorce her, which led to her choosing to put up this video, because he's trying to cut off all financial independence, even though she just had 2 twin babies. Man, he's going to be paying a lot of money in child support, and a lot. You know, typically I don't like when women marry wealthy men and then divorce them and then take half their shit, but in this case, she deserves it for putting up with him for as long as she did. Him refusing to have children for the longest fucking time, even though all she wanted was to have a child. He refused for the longest fucking time to have kids, because he said, oh, I don't have time for kids, I have to focus on my work. And he finally gave in, decided to have kids. It stressed him the fuck out and made him even more worse. That's what I think. It made him even more controlling. Now that she had children, he's a control freak. He wants to control every aspect of his life. But you know what? It also made him successful, and that's the part I want to get into, is that highly intelligent narcissists have an easier time being successful. Now, I love Trump. I love his policies. I love that he took on the deep state, took on the Orwellian intelligence agencies. I love this foreign policy, America First, where he didn't start any new wars. He didn't invade Iran. He didn't follow the General Wesley Clark 7 countries in 5 years plan. You know? He actually let the military take out the terrorists instead of, sending them more money and more firearms. Because under the Obama and Bush administration, we just accidentally dropped, cargo loads of weapons and cash where the terrorists just happened to accidentally get a hold of them. We were funding the terrorists for a long time. Trump put a stop to that. He fought the military-industrial complex. But you know what? He's a narcissist. He has unshakable confidence in himself. Where a normal person would not have the confidence to run for president, would not have the confidence to start so many business, where they would be plagued by self-doubt and plagued by regret. Normal people are plagued by, their own distaste for themselves. Most people hate themselves. They don't take care of themselves as well as they take care of the people that they love, because they know the worst things about themselves, and they tend to have a very low opinion of themselves. I've suffered from this for the longest time, because I would regret so many of the mistakes I made in the past that I was unwilling to move forward. I didn't believe in myself anymore. Just a few mistakes, a few issues of bad luck, and not having a mentor, not having a father figure, not having guidance. I made a lot of mistakes. And then I lost confidence in myself. But a narcissist, he can start the biggest independent media company in the world. Biggest conservative independent media company in the world. Crowder, from scratch, started the biggest independent media company. Got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to sign up for Mug Club. Bringing in tons of money, doing a really high-quality talk show production outside of the corporate media, where 5 corporations own 90% of the media. He's one of the few independent media operations out there that actually have a populist bent and actually make good arguments backed up by evidence and reason. As a conservative talk show host, Crowder is very effective. He's great at his job. His arguments are solid. Most of them. I don't agree with everything he says. I agree with about 80%. But, on the things upon which I agree with him, I believe he makes very solid arguments for those policies. I have slightly different arguments because my arguments are based on utilitarianism, developing, a theory of ethics whereby which you analyze positions and policies to decide what policies create the most good for the greatest number of people. That's how I analyze any sort of public policy or any sort of decision making. Is how does it impact people? Will it have the biggest possible impact on the greatest number of people possible? How many people is it going to hurt? Doing that analysis as best you can, although you can't quantify it often, but you can use qualitative data to get an idea of the result. For example, the gun control, you look at all the meta studies, gun control does not reduce murder, suicide, or accidents. The CDC and the National Academy of Sciences both did meta studies where they reviewed all the literature on gun control and could not identify a single gun control regulation that reduced murder, suicide, or accidents. Because gun control does not work. In fact, gun control just takes guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. A lot of people don't know about the Appalachian Law School shooting. Because they were up in the mountains, and it was the Appalachian Law School shooting, some of the students were hunters. They grabbed their rifles and kept the shooter stuck, under fire where he couldn't move. He'd take cover and he couldn't move or he'd get shot. They kept him, cornered until the police could arrive, so only 2 people died. If it wasn't for that, dozens of people could have died. But luckily, some of the students had firearms. You know what stops a shooter? People who are armed, who are good people. And it doesn't always have to be the cops. People who are pushing for gun control just want the cops to be the only ones who have firearms, who are good people that can stop the bad people with guns. And even if you enacted the most strict gun control policies in the world, that would just increase the profitability of the black market for guns. It would make the gun runners far greater, more powerful, larger organizations. And if you just take out one gun runner, more show up because supply and demand. It's the same reason I'm against the war on drugs. Because you can attack supply as much as you want, but the demand will stay there, and where there's demand, there will be supply. Regardless, so I kind of went off on a tangent there, but what do you think about the whole Steven Crowder situation? I wish I would have focused more on that. I'll make another video where I'm more focused on that, and I'll get all my thoughts about it together, and I'll write out what I want to say. And I'll post a blog article about it and also make a video about it. It's something I have to practice to make better videos, not just off the cuff, but plan, do some editing, get better at it. I'm going to make that my hobby, making videos where I analyze situations and maybe hire someone to help with the video editing, or ask someone who wants to have a positive impact on the world and agrees with a lot of my positions to help me. And we can network together we can coordinate together to create a good podcast. And it's something I'm looking forward to. Alright, so please subscribe, like, comment below. I also have my Discord profile below, so if you want to hit me up on Discord, go ahead. Maybe I'll create a Discord in the future once I actually have a following and I'm actually putting out high quality videos. Thanks for watching.